of the cost. Every week, new specials hit the floor, but hurry, they don't last long. And when you find your deal, we'll handle the delivery and installation. RJ's Bargain Center, a Centex Sports Network supporter located at 711 Lynn Street in Waco, the smart choice for your home. To check out our deals, call us at 254-224-6178. RJ's Bargain Center. Come see why Waco shops with us.
This is why you need Centex Primetime. Jalen Gillis brings the realness. Dive into the heart of sports with the most passionate commentary around. From pro to high school, Jalen's got the insight and energy you crave. Catch all the action weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. on the Centex Sports Network, only on YouTube. Join the conversation and elevate your sports knowledge with Centex Primetime. Don't miss it.
Need video or audio solutions? Lighthouse Streaming, a full-scale media agency, can transform any event. Check this out. We're talking live streaming that's crisp and clear, event audio that hits every note, and church video and audio solutions that'll enhance worship. Corporate events, we got those on lock too. From concerts to conferences, Lighthouse Streaming and Audio makes your vision shine. Book your appointment now at lighthousestreaming.com or call 254-252-4206 for a free consultation. Let's elevate your event and light up the stage.
What's up, everybody? My name is Jalen Gillis. You may know me from Centex Sports Network. We're starting a new platform, Recruit 254. Our mission is to highlight the amazing student athletes of 254. So if you're in the Waco, Killeen, Temple, Mart, Marlin, or any surrounding 254 areas, follow this platform and join the movement. Recruit 254. 254, let's run it up.
We can't be the guys that's gonna be timid and not knowing what's going on. You play hard, you play together. I mean, that's all we ask.
This is what we all have to do.
Be locked in, focus, just be disciplined, all right?
Now I feel like Kyrie, I'ma have to take the shot. If they tryna call me dog, I gotta hit the block. Started from the bottom, but we made it to the top. And I told them time is money, that's why I don't ever stop. I got my bad hoodie with a rollie on, eating pasta like Corleone. I don't got time for no fake boy. If you got the money, gon' show me some. I got 2 whips and I'm self-paid. Never got help, bro, I'm self-made. Started from the bottom, but we made it to the top. And I told them time is money, that's why I don't ever stop. Hey, what up, say? Home up in the studio, said I'm locked in. My stock going way up, I got options. Yeah, they fine, but stop playing, you not him. Wait, the numbers going up.
I've looked back at MCC with all these kids coming out here, these men and women starting their lives out here, starting their dreams and their visions of what they want to do for their family. It's the foundation for our community.
The plan is to go win.
Yes, sir.
Our girls set a goal that they wanted to win a national championship. They wanted to win a conference championship. That's been on the table from day one. And now we put ourselves in the position to do that.
Pitch hit in the air and deep to left field. Going back is Rayvon Morgan at the wall. He leaps and he makes the catch for the third out.
On the line, too much to give in. If you think it's over, then let's start it again. The planets alive, the stars burn bright. The sun goes down, we keep going all night. Going back down, the moment is now. Don't miss out, we're never turning around. That is your
Field to the fielder going back to hit into it. It'll go all the way to the wall. 1 run is scored. Now the third coming home to score is Aiden Cooney.
catch me if you can. We're renegades.
It's this one here in right field. It is treetop call and over the wall.
We're renegades. We're renegades. We're renegades. Listen up, listen up.
Hits the first First pitch down the right field side, that's going to be it. Touching third and coming home is the winning run, Carson Croca. Give a RBI double to Blake Hansen as the Highlanders walk it off and win by a score of 10-9.
We're renegades.
My name is Emily Adams. I'm the marketing director for the Texas Asphalt.
Hello, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back into Centex Primetime. I am your host, Jalen Gillis. We get ready to bring you through the primetime topics in sports, not just here locally, but all around the nation. Hey, we want to thank everybody for tuning in with us here on this Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. We've got a lot to talk about. The upcoming high school football playoffs, Week 13. Can't believe we've already made it this far in the season. In high school football, it's already flown by. We've got a lot of Central Texas teams still competing. Fairfield still undefeated. La Vega trying to get back to state. Robinson making the playoff push. All these teams, we'll talk about all the guys here in the Central Texas area on here today. And also, we'll talk about the college football playoff rankings that came out yesterday. We'll talk about that. What does that mean for Texas? What does that mean for some of these other teams that are trying to get in? The Oklahomas, the Alabamas. We'll talk about all of that here today on Centex Primetime. And, of course, we'll talk a little bit of NFL, get you guys ready for the upcoming weekend. We'll talk about who are the top QBs in each conference, some of the top teams in each conference in the NFL as well, and then we'll get you ready for this weekend slate of games. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in with us. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. If you're first time watching, hit that subscribe button, like and share. Also, you can go to our website, CentexSportsNetwork.com. Check us out on there as well. Free subscription. Just need your name and your email to get signed up. Folks, let's jump straight into it today. Like I said, got plenty to talk about here today. Joining me over the phone, calling in with us, familiar face to the show, Mr. PJ Gaither, calling in the show with us today. PJ, what's going on?
Man, chilling, just trying to maneuver through this Dallas 5 o'clock traffic right now, man.
Yeah, good luck with that. I've been there.
Yeah.
Been there many a times, man, but definitely a lot to talk about, folks. We're going to get straight into it. First, before we talk about some of the games coming up this weekend in high school football in the Central Texas area, I want to give out some of my players of the week from last week's competitions. First week, the by-district round in the playoffs as well. Some guys really stood out, helped their teams move on. First, I got to start with the biggest upset of the entire weekend, which was China Spring getting the win over Belleville. China Spring team, they come in 3-7 to that game, now sitting at 4-7. Nobody gave them a chance. They're supposed to lose by 30, 40 points. China Spring goes and upsets them, and a large portion of that is due to their running game. When you're able to run the ball, we talk about it here all the time on Centex Primetime. Myself, Wayne, Rocky, we all talk. If you can run the ball in the playoffs, you've got a shot to be able to win. If you can run the ball and stop the run, you think about Mike Tomlin with the Steelers. That's what China Spring is able to do. Krishawn Gregory for China Spring, 38 carries, 38 of them. 38 carries, 207 yards, 2 touchdowns in this game. Also caught the ball a couple of times as well. That is helping your team win a game. That is putting your team on your back. Cole Collins, a guy who I have as, first team in Central Texas. We're talking about quarterbacks. Cole Collins has had a phenomenal year for Fairfield. Not sure how this guy's flown under the radar as far as recruiting, but I expect that to pick up more and more. 17 for 23, 387 yards and 5 touchdowns in their win. If you watch Fairfield any this year, that's not surprising. It's what Fairfield's look like all year long, being able to do that, put up points like that. Cole Collins, another tremendous game. His running back, along with him, Caden Rodriguez, 143 yards and 4 touchdowns. Katie Hicks, their receiver, 7 catches, 167 yards as well. Had another great game for Fairfield. Expect another big game for them this coming up weekend. Also, as we look at some of these other teams in the Central Texas area, Robinson Rockets have been phenomenal all year long. I've talked about their offense on this show a lot and what this team has been able to accomplish. They're moving on to the next round. They got a tough game against West Orange Stark this coming up weekend. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But their quarterback and running back duo has been phenomenal all year long. Bryce McCurdy, the quarterback, 13 of 18, 286 yards, 4 touchdowns passing. Coupled that with 15 carries, 125 yards, and a touchdown rushing as well. He had a phenomenal game. His counterpart, Evan Marino, in the backfield, 30 carries, 196 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also caught the ball a couple of times for 61 yards and a touchdown as well. Those two guys have put that team on their back all season long, continue to do it in the playoffs. Can't wait to watch more of Robinson this upcoming year. When you talk about a couple of these teams going down to the lower levels, Whitney, another team that I enjoy watching this year. The Whitney Wildcats have been phenomenal. Off to a great start in the playoffs. Won a close one this past weekend in what was a shootout. But Kobe Haynes, a kid I've talked about a lot on this show, he's got offers from multiple D1 schools already, including Baylor. Hopefully, they can keep another kid at home like Kobe Haynes. He had to step in and play quarterback. Fisher Watson was their quarterback all year long. Kobe Haynes stepped in and played quarterback in this game. 7-17. A guy that's been playing receiver all year, dominating that receiver, steps in the quarterback, throws for 180 yards and a touchdown, carries the ball 23 times for 252 yards and 5 touchdowns. Kobe Haynes absolutely put a show on this past weekend, man, and definitely helped carry this Whitney team to a win. His counterpart, Jonte Johnson, in the backfield, has played tremendous all year long. He had 31 carries for 209 yards and a couple of touchdowns as well. Some ballers this week on the offensive side. A couple of guys that stuck out to me on the defensive side of the ball. Khalil Appel from Fairfield, 16 tackles, a couple tackles for loss, a sack, and a fumble recovery in their win this past weekend. But my player of the week on defense, 100% is going to Kylan Estelle, a guy that's played great all year long for the University Trojans. 17 tackles, a couple of pass breakups, a fumble recovery, and 2 interceptions from the DB that's played great all year long. He was one of the top interception getters in Central Texas. Him along with a couple other guys from University as well have played great. Kylan Estelle, definitely my defensive player of the week. Those are some of the players I like for this past weekend in high school football. Those guys have played tremendous all year long, doing it on the biggest stage. That's what it's all about, being able to go out there, compete for your team, and put on in the way that you were able to do, in the way that you were able to put on in the playoffs, because that's when it all counts. That's when it's for all the marbles. This coming up week, we got some really, really good games slated for the high school playoffs. A lot of Central Texas talent still left. Want to talk about a couple of these games as we look at some of these Central Texas teams still ready to compete. First off, I want to start with a team we were just talking about. The Robinson Rockets have been playing great football all year long. I just read you the stats from Bryce McCurdy and Evan Marino, 2 guys that have been doing it consistently all year long. They've got their hands full this weekend playing against the West Orange Stark team. I got a chance to watch a little bit of West Orange Stark earlier in the year when they played against La Vega. This is a tough team. It's a team that's perennially tough, a tough out in the playoffs. They're going to run the football, and they're going to have physical defense. They're coming in 8-3 in this game. They're going to play Spring Planners Ford Stadium, a tremendous game slated for 7 o'clock. PJ, I'm not sure how much you got to watch Robinson this upcoming week, but you're familiar with this Robinson program and been watching them for years. What do you think about the start they've had so far this season and then their matchup against West Orange Stark this coming up weekend?
I didn't really get to watch them this past weekend, but I'm not surprised as far as when it comes to the stats. They kind of been doing that all season long. I did get to watch that game, one of the games when they played La Vega.
Yeah,
and I feel like that they faced up. They played a really good game against La Vega. They faced up pretty well against them, and that's honestly some of the best competition that you can possibly face up against when you're playing a team like La Vega, who last year made it to the state championship, have won multiple state championships, or been to the state championship in just the last few years. I don't think there's anybody better in the state as far as a program that you can face up against and face up pretty well against than the La Vega Pirates. And they also played West Orange Stark at the beginning of the season. I forgot, did they win that game?
Yeah, La Vega won.
Yeah, the La Vega won. So I feel like if they face up against La Vega as good as they did, I don't see any reason why they couldn't beat this West Orange Stark team. Now, West Orange Stark is another team that I'm very familiar with just from the past, watching my big brother and some of my big cousins play them guys in the playoffs, in the early 2010s and, played a part of the 2000s. They're a program too, like La Vega, that's very consistent as far as, just having that pedigree and just, going deep off into the playoffs every year and knowing how to win a game. But I don't know, man. It's a toss-up, but one thing I can say, the Robinson Rockets, what I've always noticed, they are always going to have a extreme passing game.
Yeah.
And this year, though, they not only do they have an extreme passing game, they also have a really good running game. So they're going to be very dangerous in the playoffs. I think this game against West Orange Stark is going to be a really good game. I'm not sure if it'll be a shootout, but it could easily become one. Both offenses are really good. I'm kind of giving a nod to Robinson a little bit, just because they the home team. But
yeah,
I'm looking forward to this game though for sure.
Yeah, it should be a fun one, man. Like you said, I think it will end up being a shootout with Robinson and West Orange Stark coming up. Robinson hadn't showed much on the defensive side of the ball this year. Last week when they won against Madisonville, it was 60-41. So they're expecting a shootout, but you got to be able to put up points against this Robinson team. That's the reason I like Robinson in this game, because of the Bryce McCurdy's, because of the Evan Marinos and what their offense, like you just stated, perennially is able to do every single year, and that's put up points. So that's going to be a really fun one at 7 o'clock. West Orange Stark matching up against Robinson. Staying right there in that District 12 and 4A Division II, La Vega Pirates coming off a state championship run last year where they went all the way to state, lost to Carthage, who still hasn't lost, and I think it's almost up to 2 years now. These guys are playing phenomenal football still right now. But La Vega's playing against another team that is known for having talent, a team that's kind of similar to La Vega. They're known for being able to run the football, having tremendous athletes at the skill positions, the DBs, the running backs, the receivers, and that's Silsbee. This game in Jacksonville is going to be a huge one. La Vega matching up against Silsbee this week. We know La Vega, they've got a high-powered offense with guys like Courtney Parr at quarterback, with guys like Jabari Thornton at receiver. Man, these guys can really make some noise as well, and their running game has come along the last couple of weeks. But their defense, and that's what La Vega's known for, is hard-nosed defense under the leadership of Coach Hyde. That's what they're known for. This defense has played phenomenal all year long, especially as the season has gone on. The Caden Rowlands, who have stepped up and been a huge playmaker for La Vega this year. You think about the Marquay Willises on that team. You think about the young freshman who's starting to become a young freshman phenom in Edison King at the DM position, a guy that's already got multiple Power 4 offers as a freshman, a true freshman in high school. He has had a tremendous impact to this defense. Can't wait to see them match up against the Silsbee team. What do you think about La Vega, PJ? I think this is another team we think can get back to state once again with the way they played, coming off of going to state again last year. I don't see much changing, but they got a tough matchup this week against Silsbee.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game against Silsbee. If I'm not mistaken, these teams have played each other in the playoffs before.
Yeah, they played before.
I think once before, not before, probably twice actually, I believe. So two programs that kind of familiar with each other. Everybody already know both these programs. Definitely offensively, they're both going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball like crazy. Silsbee always have a really good running game. La Vega's always been known. They've been known for this pretty much 20 years now at this point, to have a dominant running game. And yeah, La Vega with them, man, just last year, just going into the playoffs, I don't think anybody had them picked to go to state.
No.
And that run that they made last year, I mean, after that, man, anytime you see this La Vega team in the playoffs, you really just got to put them up there as one of the teams that can possibly make it just off of that 1 year, because they were not expected to go to state last year at all. And they just kind of caught fire at the right time, man, and it started, everything started coming together at the right time, and they were able to make it to the state championship game last year. So with a team that's so experienced, like this La Vega team, with a quarterback that's experienced, I feel like he's really stepped up even more this year than he did last year. He was very young last year, and I feel like just that loss in the state championship game and just getting through the playoffs has really taught him a lot. And just noticing how he's played this year, I really feel like that he's excelled, and you can tell that he's grown up just a little bit. He's still really young. I mean, the kid still got 2 more years of high school.
You talking about Parr?
Yeah, Parr.
Yeah. He's a junior this year, so he still got a senior season after this.
Yeah. Still got 1 more season. So he's still pretty young. So I mean, this La Vega team is really good. Silsbee's really good. One of those powerhouse teams out of East Texas. They got a few of those. So they're very battle tested coming out of East Texas, where most of the top schools in 4A are coming out of is East Texas. If you're in any of those districts, man, in 4A coming out of East Texas, you're going through a gauntlet. Every week is a game. You know, you're having to play teams like Gilmer, Texarkana, Pleasant Grove, Crero. It's a whole bunch of teams. Carthage, of course. Yeah, Carthage. Yeah, you having to play those teams. So every week, it's a gauntlet coming out of East Texas, and Silsbee's battle tested. But I believe this La Vega team is just as battle tested, just because Central Texas 4A is just as good as East Texas 4A, and there's always a battle between both us and them. So I'm going to give a head nod towards La Vega, of course, home team. I feel like that they are not just battle tested this year; they're just battle tested. Period. As far as just getting far into the playoffs, just coming off of that state championship run last year and losing in the state championship, but it's still this team. I feel like that they're going to be motivated going into this game, and just to try to get back to the state championship game and actually win it this year. But Silsbee's not going to make it easy on them, and I believe that they know that. They faced this team before in the past, so they know that Silsbee's going to bring everything that they can into this game, and it could easily go either way, just like the Robinson game. But I want to get ahead now, though, to La Vega.
Yeah, I expect La Vega to win in this. La Vega's been dominant the last few weeks. I mean, shutting out Lorena's had a high-powered offense. They held them to a touchdown. Conley had been scoring points. They held them to under a touchdown. Like, this defense has been playing tremendous football the last few weeks. And then the performance they had the first week of the playoffs as well. Silsbee is going to be tough because they run the football, like you just said. This is a team that's always running the ball. They have got a guy at the quarterback position that's passed for over 1,000 yards, but he's almost rushed for 1,000 yards. That's what they like to do. Their top rusher outside of him has rushed for 700 yards. They got another kid that's rushed for 500 yards on the season. So they run the football. It's going to be good on good when you get into the playoffs. And in this matchup, their good running game versus La Vega's good defense as well. So I can't wait to be able to watch this game coming up. That is at 7 o'clock in Jacksonville, Texas, where La Vega will be taking on Silsbee. China Spring is going to play against Lamarck. Lamarck is obviously favored in this game. They're 9-2. But it's hard for me to pick anybody against China Spring right now, seeing them get a win over Belleville last week. That's just straight up willpower and championship DNA. They've got a winning culture at China Spring regardless of what their record is. We know that they're in a new system, trying to get things going there at China Spring. But they see all those medals and trophies in the hallways when they go to China Spring. They see all those pictures and posters up of former players. They see the state championship trophies that they had they've won 2 state championships in the last 10 years. So it's a championship culture at China Spring. Just for that, I'll give them a puncher's chance in this game. But I'm pretty sure everybody's got Lamarck favored in that game as they're sitting at 9-2 going into that game as well. Whitney has got a really good game versus Winsboro this coming up weekend as I go through just a couple more of these before we switch it up here talking about some high school football. Whitney's got a good game against Winsboro, 9-2 team that they'll be taking on at 7 o'clock on Friday. Fairfield versus Yoakum, going to be a huge game, one of the bigger games in Fairfield in the last 10 years for Fairfield. It's been a while since this team is good. Obviously, I know Fairfield's had a lot of really good teams, but they're 11-0 right now with a chance to do something special. Their quarterback, Cole Collins, I think has played just as good, if not better, than everybody in the Central Texas area this year. So I really like Fairfield and what they're able to do. Franklin's got a good game taking on Orangefield coming up at 7 o'clock. That's tomorrow on Thursday when those two teams will be playing against each other. So some really, really good games coming up in the high school football playoffs in Central Texas. We still got a lot of teams in it. I just mentioned a lot of those teams that are still in it. Obviously, Chilton's still in it. Bremond, who's got a great chance to get back to state, still in it as well. PJ, are there any other high school football matchups in Texas this weekend that got you interested? It doesn't have to be in Central Texas, but just any of them. It could be DFW teams, some Houston teams. I know it's a lot of really good games getting ready to happen this coming up weekend.
To be honest, man, let me see, because I haven't even really just looked at some of the 6A schools, but I'm sure they having some games.
Yeah,
I forgot who DeSoto's.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. DeSoto's playing down here on Friday at WISD. They're playing against Longview. I know that's going to be a really good game.
Okay, that's one of the. That's one actually. Okay, yeah, DeSoto and Longview. So if I'm not mistaken, Longview upset them. Was it last year?
Yeah, I want to say it was last year, either that or the year before.
That
But the
was
year
last
before
year.
they won state, so it
Yeah.
must have been last year.
Yeah. Last year, Longview upset them, and a lot of people up here was picking DeSoto to win that game. When I was telling them, I don't know, because we very familiar with Longview. You know what I'm saying? We done played Longview.
Too many times.
And, yeah, we done played them a lot of times. And, man,
Yeah,
it's like I said.
Longview won that game 50-14 last year at McLean Stadium in Baylor.
In a dominant fashion. So this is going to be just a rematch in the same stadium and everything. So that's going to be the game that I'm actually going to be really paying attention to. DeSoto going into this game just like last year. They're ranked in not only in the state but also nationally. Longview's ranked number 15 in this game. The biggest thing with DeSoto, man, going into this game, don't get all wrapped up into what happened last year. Last year is last year. You know what I mean? Going to this game, it's a new year, new season, different teams really, for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Different teams. Both teams had some seniors graduate, but both teams are really going into this game rolling. And, man, there's just something about East Texas. That East Texas pedigree is really real. If you don't believe it, it's really real. It's really real when they're coming out of East Texas. Now, I don't care from 1A all the way up. East Texas teams are just they got just pedigree, and it's a 6A matchup right here. So we're just talking about 4A.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So imagine Longview. You know what I mean? We were talking about all those teams that we just named out of 4A coming out that same area. So I'm not really sure who I got in this game, man, because last year, like I said, everybody was picking DeSoto, and I was just trying to tell them, man, I'm like, it's not going to be just some easy game for them. Longview, they have a rich history, and them dudes really, they really play ball.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one for DeSoto. I know they're favored in the game, and people are like them.
They're favored in it, and I seen them play. I seen them play the team out of Georgia this year. People they ain't really been talking about that game, but they got spanked.
They did.
They got spanked in Georgia.
They definitely did.
They got spanked in Georgia really bad at the beginning of the season. I don't know what that was all about. I don't know if they had guys out or anything. I heard some people saying that they had guys out. Everybody didn't travel for that game or whatever, but I don't know. But regardless, one thing I noticed in that game and also in the Duncanville game, this DeSoto team can get ran on. They defense. They have a good run stop defense, but if it's a team that's really good at running the ball, they can run the ball on this team, which also opens up certain passing lanes against their secondary. So I really think that Longview is capable of, and they already shown last year, that they can expose this DeSoto defense. So I'm sure this DeSoto coaching staff, I'm already knowing that they're going to be going into this game really locked in, definitely the defensive side of the ball, just off of last year, getting scored 50 points on. You don't want that to happen again. So I'm sure both teams are going to be locked in. Longview, they're not going to be going into this game with the big head just because they won last year. They're going to always play with a chip on their shoulder just because for some reason, I don't know what it is, but these Dallas people would just be underestimating them. And it's not all of them, but I've noticed that they underestimate not just Longview, but some of these East Texas schools. And I'm telling you, man, them dudes, they play ball out there.
No, it's serious out there in East Texas for real. Like that, all the teams are good from every level, 2A all the way up to 6A. As you see with Longview, they're probably one of the only 6A schools in East Texas. But yeah, they mean business. That's going to be a great game. Fort Bend, I didn't know Fort Bend had this many teams. I'm so used to Fort Bend Marshall that University just played.
Yeah, they got.
But Fort Bend Ridgepoint, yeah, they got like 8 teams now. And Fort Bend Ridgepoint is undefeated, but they're getting ready to play against North Shore this weekend, so that's going to be a really fun game as well in high school football. But it's a lot of good games in this area around when you talk about 6A and 5A football for sure. Lots of big-time matchups this weekend that I'm excited to be able to watch, especially those games here locally that'll be going on as well. So we'll be keeping an eye on these high school playoffs and these scores coming up this upcoming weekend. Like I said, we'll probably be doing some type of coverage with University's game this weekend against Bastrop. That's on Saturday at 2 o'clock, so stay tuned for more coverage about that. I want to transition a little bit. We just wrapped up talking about some high school football, and I want to talk about some college football, folks. As everyone saw last night, college football playoff rankings came out, another one of their official rankings. Some teams are mad. Some teams thought other teams should be higher. That's what it's supposed to be every single year. But I want to look at this new ranking that these guys just put out for this past Sunday, or for this past week. Ohio State and Indiana stay at number 1 and 2. Texas A&M keeps their place at 3. Georgia moves up to number 4. Texas Tech at number 5. Ole Miss at 6. Oregon at 7. Oklahoma at 8. Notre Dame at 9. Alabama rounds out the top 10 at number 10, and then that 11 and 12 spot right now going to BYU and Utah. So that's always big. We know it's a 12-team playoff, so those last couple of spots will be essentially who would get in last, but we know this is going to change a lot by the time we get to actually picking the playoff teams. Just on the first glance at this, PJ, what do you think about the updated rankings and the college football rankings? I like them moving Tech up in front of Ole Miss and Oregon. I think Tech has a better resume than Ole Miss and Oregon, with them taking out BYU and Utah, who are both top 12 teams. So I like the fact that they respected Tech and moved them up in those rankings as well. Alabama dropping 5 spots all the way to number 10 after losing to Oklahoma. I think that's a fair shake there, but they're about Alabama, Notre Dame, Oklahoma. It's all a toss-up to me as you rank those few teams. And then BYU and Utah rounding out the top 11 and 12. I'm not mad at that. I know it's going to change as we get further throughout the season. One of those two teams is going to have to play in the Big 12 championship against Tech, and I don't see either one of them beating Tech, so one of those guys are going to fall out of there. And then right behind them, you got the Miamis, the Vanderbilts, the USC, the Georgia Techs. Those are all the 2-loss teams that are right outside of that college football playoff ranking right now. But what do you think about this updated rankings, PJ, and that they changed last night?
Yeah, the top 12, I mean, really the whole top 25, but definitely the top 12 I agree with. Some people probably will say that they would like Oklahoma to be over Oregon just because they got better quality wins than what Oregon does this season.
Yeah.
But I'm not really mad at where anybody's ranked. I feel like everybody kind of earned their rank for sure. In this top 12 for sure, they all earned their rank. Texas Tech is looking really, really good. Arguably one of the best defenses in college football overall with Texas Tech. Texas A&M still looking pretty good, definitely coming off that close game against South Carolina. I really feel like South Carolina sold that game more than Texas A&M coming back, but still got to give them respect for even, being able to fight through adversity and win that game.
Sure.
And making adjustments going into the second half because South Carolina didn't even score a point. They didn't even score a point.
Not even a field goal. Like, that was crazy.
Field goal. So to be able to shut them out like that after, starting the game terribly like that defensively, that was big for Texas A&M. And then shout out to Georgia too, man, just playing against, Texas, and dominating us in the way that they did. I didn't even expect for them to do that. You know what I mean? We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but yeah, Georgia, they earned their rank. Notre Dame is still making some noise. They're still dominating teams. Everybody thought that Pitt game was going to be close, and they came out. It was close for like maybe the first quarter, second quarter, and then I don't know what happened, man. They locked in, and they got real ugly for Pitt. They got ugly. Indiana, still one of my teams that I'm really liking, man. I love what Kirk Cignetti has been doing these last 2 seasons over there. That team, man, that's really one of my favorite teams right now in college football. Outside of the teams that I, support all the time.
Yeah.
Indiana is one of those teams that I'm strongly supporting. I love what they're doing. I love their culture that they're building over there. Kirk Cignetti, he's had them boys lock in, and it's showing, not just this year, but even last year, but this year they look even better. And I was one of those people that was saying that I really thought that they were going to be better this year than what they were last year. And they've shown it. So, yeah, Ohio State still number 1 team. I don't feel like anybody has any arguments with them being at number 1. Undefeated, pretty much dominated most of their schedule, even though it's been a weak schedule. But they've done what you're supposed to do whenever you have weaker opponents, you dominate them. You know what I mean? So Ohio State has really been standing on business the entire season. So, like I said, the whole top 12, I agree with. BYU and Utah, both two really good teams out the Big 12. So I agree with them being at 11 and 12, and then Alabama being at 10 after losing against Oklahoma in a close game. Still, I feel like that's fair. That's fair for them being at number 10.
Yeah, I don't think they got much wrong in these rankings. I was having some gripes yesterday before the rankings came out, when they came out with the new AP Top 25, because I want to Tech higher than Ole Miss and Oregon. But they got that right, moving it around in there. It's going to be interesting to see how many SEC and Big Ten teams they try to put into this playoffs. I think for sure we're probably going to get 4 SEC teams. The Big Ten, it's got to only be those 3 teams. Oregon is pretty much going to get in because they're not going to play Indiana or Ohio State, and they're not going to get to play in the Big Ten championship either. So they pretty much just get to walk into the playoffs. I'm not going to say for free because they're going out there and earning wins, but that schedule is weak. Out of all those teams in the top 10, that schedule is weak.
Yeah, they're in a position where Tennessee was in last year. Tennessee didn't play in the Big 12 championship, but still had the same record as us. You know what I'm saying? So, but the difference is their schedule, man. We got to do something about this Big Ten. It just doesn't make sense.
Too many teams. I think they have the most teams out of all the conferences. I think they have like 18 teams.
Yeah, like we gotta do something about that, because it doesn't make sense that Oregon only really played Indiana. I mean, they played Penn State early in the season, but I mean, Ohio State really not playing. Ohio State playing nobody.
Nobody in the Big Ten is playing nobody.
Indiana really didn't play nobody, but Indiana, reason why they dominate. I said, Ohio State dominates teams, but Indiana dominates.
I keep trying to tell people that every time they say, well, Indiana's not like that. Even last year when they were, we'll see what happened in the playoffs, they weren't like that.
They leave no room for error whenever they play teams that's weaker than them.
None.
0 room for error. They are scoring like 60, 50. Like, they're destroying teams.
Yeah, no,
I agree. We seen them destroy Illinois early in the season, and Illinois was a top 10 ranked team.
They were ranked number
9,
9, and they beat them 63-10.
So 10. So they're leaving no room for error. So I understand their schedule's weak, but they're doing what they're supposed to do. I've seen some of these Big Ten teams not do that really against weaker competition. You know what I mean? They're kind of playing around with them, and it just shows to me just how I really just don't believe that conference is as deep as the SEC. Like, nowhere near.
Oh my goodness, now, it's not even close.
Their top teams are great. Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, great teams. You know what I mean? But that lower tier is insane. Like, their lower tier is so low that it's crazy. Like, our lower tier in the SEC, I mean, you see what South Carolina just did. Even with you see how Arkansas even played Texas A&M really close. Arkansas has the number 1 offense in the SEC.
Like right now in the Big Ten, Michigan is number 6 and number 5 in the Big Ten right now. I don't think Michigan would win 3 games in the SEC right now. Not with some of the schedule that some of these other guys have to play. Not with the schedule Texas is playing. Not with the schedule Florida is playing. Florida play everybody. Yeah. Florida play Bama, Georgia, Texas. They had to play every dog in the SEC. Michigan's not winning that many games. It's a major drop off after those top 3 teams that you just named. And I'm not too convinced on how many wins Oregon will get, honestly. And I like Oregon. I like Dante Moore. I like DeCorian Moore. I think they got a really good squad. Yeah. But after seeing them play against Indiana, and Indiana really in that fourth quarter, Indiana was manhandling Oregon. They only ended up winning by 2 points, but in that fourth quarter, I agree with what you said about Indiana. The reason I made an argument with them for the last 2 years is the same reason Kurt Cinetti said. They're destroying teams when they play them. They're not just beating them. They're killing these teams when they're playing them, and that's ranked teams. That's the sorry teams. Any game that they're favored to win, they're gonna cover the spread. Only tough games they played this year was at Iowa, which we all know that's super tough to play, and at Penn State. We all know that's super tough to play. Them the only games they've really struggled this entire year. Outside of that, they blowing people out the water. And I'm not convinced, as great as Ohio State is, that Ohio State is just going to beat Indiana in that Big Ten championship like everybody's expecting them to do. I don't see that. It's gonna be a neutral field.
This Indiana defense.
Yeah, that defense is crazy.
This Indiana defense is crazy. I mean, man, their front seven is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they have the DBs. They honestly got one of the best DBs in college football with D'Angelo Pons.
Yeah, Pons is a monster. You can put him you can play slot, outside, whatever. Their front seven is crazy.
Front seven's crazy. And they're just scrappy, and they take on the energy that their head coach presents.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like that saying of the team is whatever your coach is. That's a true saying. And Kurt Signetti is a leader. He has a little bit of that Nick Saban energy to him. You know, similar to how Kirby Smart. You see how Kirby Smart acts. You see how Lane Kiffin. All of these guys that were under Saban, they all kind of got that similar energy. I feel like he has it more than anybody.
Oh yeah.
To me, just watching him coach, and that's to me. I feel like that's because he came from the original coaching staff from when Saban first got to Alabama.
Yeah.
And those teams were different.
Yeah, those teams
were really, really good. Yeah, they were monsters, and he actually helped recruit while he was at Alabama around that time as well.
Yeah, he was the one. He was like that main recruiter.
Yeah, he was that main recruiter, and it shows, man. It just shows he's not going out here getting 5-star product to come to Indiana. He's getting guys in the transfer portal from JUCOs and Division II programs. You know what I mean? Division I AA programs. He's getting guys like that. He's getting guys who they just need a chance, and he's giving these guys the chances, and they're showing it. So I really love what they're doing over there in Indiana. I'm rooting for them for sure. And like you said, I really don't think that this game against Ohio State is just going to be just a blowout like everyone expects. This game is going to be really, really, really close in the Big Ten championship game. That's probably going to be one of the games of the year, honestly, when those two teams face off against each other.
Yeah, because they're not playing anybody leading up to it, so it's going to be so much built-up animosity. Indiana probably finna put a 40-piece on Purdue this weekend. And Ohio State, I expect them to beat Michigan. I know they laid an egg last year, but I expect them to beat Michigan this year.
Man, it's to this point, man. Cause it's just like I be thinking that they're gonna go into that game and win against Michigan. Like last year, it was no reason.
Yeah, there was no excuse.
No reason why. No excuses. I know they still have Will Johnson, but I don't even think he played in that game, bro.
No, he was hurt.
Yeah, he ain't even playing that game. So I don't know how they lost. I don't know how they lost that game, man. Michigan really has their number right now. That's gonna always be a good game, man. You know, that's the big one. That's the game. So I'm looking forward to that game for sure. But yes, statistically, Ohio State should destroy Michigan. They should destroy them. It shouldn't even be a close game. I'm talking about in every facet, they should destroy Michigan. They're better than them at every position. Every position, they're better than Michigan. So I really don't. I don't know if they lose this game this year, man. You know the Michigan people, they're gonna be talking really, really crazy.
Oh yeah,
what's it gonna be like 4 or 5 years? 6 years in a row, 5 years in a row.
It'll be something close, like 4 out of the last 5 or something like that. It'll be something crazy. Like
I think it's already because they already won 4 in a row. I know for sure. I think last year made 5. So if they lose this year, 6 years, six games in a row. Yeah, that's awful.
That'll be bad. They won a natty, so that's what saved Ryan Day. I said last year when they lost to Michigan that he got to win the national championship to save his job. Well, that's exactly what he did. So he's not in trouble anymore. But still, you got to find a way. I mean, it's the same thing with Jim Harbaugh when he was there. He lost to. At first, they lost to. It was either Ohio State or
Ohio State.
Yeah, I think he lost to Ohio State. I can't remember how many times in a row before they finally got a win.
I think like three, maybe 3 or 4. Yeah.
Before they finally got their win, so it'll be a big game. Before we get off the Big Ten, Ohio State and Indiana, we know the top 2 teams. I think both of the top 2 Heisman candidates are the 2 quarterbacks of those teams, and that's crazy to say. Fernando Mendoza, you just talked about the recruiting that Coach Cincinnati was able to do, finding him and having the season that he's having. Top 3 in completion percentage, number 1 in the nation in touchdowns, top 3 in QBR. I mean, the dude is playing. You can't play any better football than what he's been playing. But on the other side of that, playing a more conservative game plan, Julian saying, but he is having a phenomenal. I mean, Julian saying is playing out of his mind to be a freshman. Dude is 25 and he's got 25 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, top 3 in completion percentage, top 2 in QBR. He's playing phenomenal football as well. If you had to pick between those two quarterbacks right now, who do you think is playing better football, Fernando Mendoza or Julian saying? They're number 1 and 2 teams in the country.
I'm going to go with Fernando Mendoza, and the reason why I go with him is just because now Julian Sanders, he's played really, really good this year. And both, like I said, both teams, as far as just their schedule, both teams' schedules are pretty weak.
Oh yeah,
but
everybody in the Big Ten is.
Yeah, Indiana though has had I feel like they've had bigger games though this year. More important games than what Ohio State. I don't even really know who. I don't know who Ohio State has even played that was ranked.
Texas, in the first game of the year.
I really don't know. Like because I think by the time they played Illinois wasn't ranked anymore.
I think Illinois was 17. They was just about to fall out.
They're like 17. They're about to fall out.
But outside of Texas, that was their only ranked win. Nobody else they played has been ranked.
Yeah, no. That's crazy. So, I got to – that's why I say it's more impressive to me with Fernando Mendoza. And it's just the way they have been dominating teams, dude. Like, they're really, really – like, they don't take their foot off no team that –
No, not at all.
You know, and just coming off of last year, he had a really good year even last year. But this year, man, it's like they've put it all together. You seeing that this team is really good. He even got his little brother that's right behind him that then came into a few games and scored touchdowns as well.
Yeah.
So I just really like what they're doing. I really like that kid, Fernando Mendoza. Really, really good player. I love their receivers as well. Some people, most people, because I don't feel like a lot of people really just sit and watch Indiana. So they will say Ohio State has a way better wide receiver duo over that way with Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith, of course, probably the best college football player in all of college.
Still
with Jeremiah Smith, but man, Omar Cooper, and Elijah Surratt for Indiana, super underrated.
Yeah, I agree.
I want people to really go back and watch the Indiana versus Oregon game. Elijah Surratt dominated Oregon.
They couldn't do nothing with him.
They couldn't do nothing with him. I think he had like two touchdowns maybe that game, or maybe 3. He killed them. Omar Cooper.
He had 1 touchdown, but he had 8 catches for 121.
1 touchdown, 8 catches for 121. Oh my God, like, bro, Omar Cooper, go look back at, I think, the Illinois game. Omar Cooper killed in that game.
Yeah. They
really good receivers. So with the thing, like the fact that Fernando Mendoza is doing what he's doing with the guys that he has, and these guys aren't slouches in no way, but you can kind of say that Julian Sand has a better overall cast of players that's around him.
For sure, yeah, definitely.
What Fernando Mendoza has, but both of them have been really good this season. I like what both of the guys, how they're playing and everything. But I would give the nod more to Fernando Mendoza, and just because it's even with coming off of what they did last year with Indiana, it's just always going to be hard to do what they're doing at Indiana. We're really watching a team, watching players make history at Indiana right now. A team that has never been a winning program ever. Yeah. And the last 2 years, man, they've made history in that program, and they really made a new type of energy just come around Indiana. Even when I be watching them on Saturdays when they're at home, like the stadium is just rocking.
Yeah,
it's just rocking. So I would get a head nod to Fernando Mendoza, but Julian Sand, he's gonna be really good for the next 2 years that he's at Ohio State. So people really need to be looking out, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up winning the Heisman, one of these next 2 years with just the way he's playing.
Yeah, I agree. They both are right there in Heisman contention, along with a couple other guys. Shout out coach at Texas Tech, man. He's been trying to get Jacob Rodriguez in that Heisman conversation, and I think I agree with him. If we put Manti Te'o in there, them years back, why Jacob Rodriguez can't be in it? They playing like one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the nation, and he's spearheading that. But a lot of really good guys will be up for the Heisman this year. But Mendoza and Julian Sayin have to be right at the very top of that list as well. I want to talk about Texas a little bit. They dropped in the rankings, obviously, after losing to Georgia this past weekend. And we look at Texas and say, oh, man, they got 3 losses now. But we're not going to act like 2 of those losses ain't to Georgia and Ohio State. Like, what do you most people are going to lose to Georgia and Ohio State. But them falling that far back, they've got a very unique case because they've got a tough game against Arkansas. They're going to have to win that first. That's always going to be a rivalry game when Texas and Arkansas match up against each other. But that game against A&M, they have the potential to play their way into the college football playoffs almost. Because if they beat an A&M, that's going to give them a huge ranked win. There's gonna be a 4th team out of the SEC that makes these playoffs. I'm not sure what the 4th team is going to be. I know A&M's going to make it probably regardless of what happens now. I got Georgia making it. I think Ole Miss is going to make it because they're not going to have to play in the championship game, and they're going to win their last couple of games. So that'll put 3 in, and then that last spot will be Oklahoma. It might be 5 teams from the SEC because they were trying to do 4 and 4 with the Big Ten and SEC, but it's only going to be 3 teams good enough to come out of the Big Ten unless USC beats Oregon this weekend. But with that being said, A&M, Georgia, Ole Miss, probably Bama. That 5th spot will be a toss-up between Oklahoma and Texas. And then Texas has the head-to-head against Oklahoma if Oklahoma's able to win out as well. So it's going to be a toss-up. Do you see a path here where Texas can get back into these playoffs after losing against Georgia?
It's a small path, but I don't see it happening. Even with the head-to-head against Oklahoma, I don't think that's going to matter, really, just going into the playoffs just because they beat Alabama.
Yep.
They beat Alabama, who beat Georgia, who we lost against very bad. So, and to be honest, man, I'm very disappointed in this Texas team. Just overall, just the whole entire season, I'm disappointed in the players, and I'm also disappointed in the coaching staff. More of the coaching staff, and majority of that goes to our head coach. I think I said it on here probably a month ago when I was on here one day, and his pride is going to be his downfall at the University of Texas. And I say that just because going into this season, we already knew that we was going to have pretty much a brand new O-line going into the season. You know, we knew this. I mean, after last season, we already knew this. After we lost against Ohio State in the bowl game, we knew that we was going to have a new, pretty much a new O-line. Guys like Trevor Goolsby, Cole Hudson, they've played, what I'm saying? They didn't start the game before, but they didn't have a bunch of starts on, And then Brandon Baker, the right tackle, he, was going to be pretty much a freshman. Well, he was true freshman last year, but, freshman season this year, his first time starting. And we didn't go and get anyone and we didn't go get nobody in the portal. We went and got nobody in the portal. They did a terrible job as far as coaches evaluating the talent that they were bringing back, and it's showing this season. Definitely with the DBs, the secondary. You don't have guys like Andrew Makuba and Jahdae Barron, who to me were like those two, man, probably the 2 best safeties or best DBs out of last year's draft.
Yeah.
Honestly. Love both of those guys. Love what they brought to Texas. And we don't have that. We got Michael Taft and Jelani, which they doing awesome. But it just seems like we just have regressed in a lot of ways. I don't know why our corners play so far off. Our corners play I'm talking about Jalen, dude, they're like They're like 10 yards. They're like 10 yards off the receiver.
Yeah.
They're 10 yards off the receiver. Cade Phillips, the freshman, he's 10 yards off the receiver, and he start backpedaling pre-snap. Like, when y'all do that, y'all don't understand that you're moving yourself out of position. You're moving yourself out of position. I don't understand it. Whenever they do play press, they're not putting hands on any of the receivers. You're at the level that you can be physical with the receivers. In college, you can be physical with the receivers.
Yeah.
NFL, it's a lot different. You're gonna get that PI call for sure. But in college and high school, you can be physical with the receivers. These guys put no hands on them. No hands on them. RDBs right now, man, a lot of these guys, if the coach is not being real with these dudes, man, a lot of y'all are going to have to go into the transfer portal.
Facts.
Some of y'all are just not SEC material. Y'all are just not SEC material, and that's fine. And one of those kids is a kid that we know.
Yeah. Honestly.
And I you know what I'm saying? We love that kid, but he's going to have to go into the portal too. Some of these guys are just, they're not developed. Yeah, they're not developing. Y'all been in a program for 2 years, 3 years. Derek Williams has been in a program for 4 years. Jalen Gilbo is a 5th-year senior at Texas right now, and they are playing horrible.
Yeah, I forgot
horrible.
Gilbo been there a long time.
He's a 5th-year senior. Like, y'all are playing horrible. What is going on that y'all are not developing? You know what I mean?
I heard Jackson Shipley and Jordan Shipley's dad, who obviously is, well respected within the Texas organization, was talking about it. He said that, Arch Manning and Michael Taft are great guys, but you don't want those guys to be the guys on the team. Yeah, firing everybody up. He's like, those are the nice guys. He said Texas. He said, I'm just gonna be straight up. He said it ain't enough dogs out there. It just ain't enough dogs on either side of the ball. It's just not enough dogs out there.
Taft is a former walk-on. Arch Manning, yes, he's a 5-star or 4-star, whatever, coming in, but those are not the guys that need. The guys that I need to be the leaders, and the guys that's the Cam Chancellors of the team.
Yeah, you need the Makubas.
You know what I mean?
The Makuba who's gonna come down and lay somebody out and get everybody ready.
Yes, I need guys like that, man. To me, there's no reason why Anthony Hill shouldn't be one of those guys in this team. There's no reason why Colin Simmons shouldn't be one of those guys. The list goes on. I know a few of these guys that should be. You know what I mean? But the player evaluation just going into this season has been horrible. And we have a head coach who, rather than keeping it real, he wants to get defensive. I need for Steve Sarkisian to just stop doing press conferences. Just stop doing them. Because every time he opens his mouth lately, it's just been getting worse and worse and worse. Crazy stuff they ask him. So, has this season been a disappointing season, because we started off in the AP poll preseason, we were number 1. Coming into this season, we were number 1. And now we're at number 17 with 3 losses. He's like, so who put those expectations on us? Here's the thing, my dude. You can't come in and be like, half our schedule was top 10 opponents. Florida had just as hard as a schedule. Oklahoma, Ole Miss, all these teams in the SEC, it's a gauntlet. Arkansas's playing everybody. So you're at the University of Texas, and not only that, we're in the SEC now, where the expectations are always going to be high. We have the number 1 recruiting class coming into this season.
Yeah.
The number 1 recruiting class. We spent the most money out of any team in college football this year. So
and it ain't
there's no room. It's not translating at all. There's no room to be getting defensive and trying to act like these expectations weren't like that. Like I don't get them, man. I don't understand. And we're so conservative. We're such a conservative team. I mean, Dwayne Aquino, a lot of these coaches, these next 2 weeks, man, y'all jobs is on the line. Not Sarkisian's, but y'all job, all these, like
somebody's going to get fired, though.
Special team Jeff Banks, somebody's going to get fired. It's going to be some guys that are going to have to move around, man. And I'm going to be honest, if Steve Sarkisian really want to stay in Texas and really continue to build this program to where the heights that we've been at the last 2 years. You know what I mean? He's going to have to step down as the offensive coordinator.
I agree.
And I know that he doesn't want to do that. But if Kirby Smart can do it, if Nick Saban could do it, if Lane Kiffin could do it, if Kalen DeBoer could do it, even what's my guy at Oklahoma?
Brett Venables.
Brett Venables. Yeah. If he can do it, then you can as well. You can as well. I mean, you got to, man, because we can't continue to just we run the ball 10 times.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
On Saturday.
And I hate that people are trying to blame the running backs. Like, we just don't got no good backs. I'm like, how are you going to tell if you got the good backs? You got the ball.
1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Trey rushed for 1,000 yards last year. C.J. Baxter rushed for 1,000 yards 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, I'm not buying that they just don't have dogs. The offensive line is bad, and then they won't run the ball.
Is bad, and we won't run the ball. So we get out of games immediately. Because we're trying to make Arch just stand back there. He played a really good game on Saturday. Ryan Wingo, I don't know what's going on, but he has been very underwhelming since he has touched down.
Yeah. He's just not that guy. That's just all it is. Sometimes you pick wrong. That's all it is.
He dropped the out route, bro. He dropped the out route. I think it was like 3rd and 6. First drive, actually the first play of the game. I'm gonna take it back. The first play of the game, he dropped. We were in the same screen that we've been running for the last 2 weeks, and he slips.
Yeah.
Literally slips over both his feet, and then drops the out route on 3rd and 6. I'm talking about easy first down. Probably would have scored a touchdown. He dropped like we had 9 drops. He dropped like 4 out of the 9 on Saturday. The kid is just not that. He's just not that guy. I'm telling you, man. Some of you guys, man, on the Longhorns, some of y'all are gonna have to really dig deep this offseason. And if I'm the coach, I'm telling them everybody's position is wide open. The only position that's not wide open is going to be Arch. I feel like Arch has shown enough for me that I'm okay with him being our starter. He's really shown a lot of growth throughout the season. But the whole O-line, all of y'all positions are wide open. The entire O-line, all y'all positions is wide open. I mean, none of y'all have shown any type of everybody. None of y'all have shown any type of like any reason for me to just trust that y'all should be the starters going into next year.
Yeah, I don't. It's a major overhaul coming at Texas. I agree with you. I think players.
We're not a playoff team. We're just not a playoff team. I've been seeing a lot of people talk about it on Texas football. If we should, what if we still make it? We're just not a playoff team. I don't want us to make it to the playoffs and then have to go to somebody else's crib, because that's what's going to happen. I don't think people realize if we're the number 12 team or the number 11 team or whatever in the college football playoff, we're going to have to go to one of these teams that won their conference to their crib.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
Or not won their conference, but
still, it'll be a top team.
Pretty much, it'll be a top team. It'll be the team that probably lost in the conference championship or whatever.
Yeah.
And we're going to get boat raced out the playoffs. I don't want that. We don't deserve. We have not played in any shape or form way like that. We deserve to be in the college football playoffs. So we're just going to have to lock in these next 2 weeks because y'all playing against 2 of your longest rivals.
Yeah.
Arkansas and Texas A&M. And we're just going to have to go in, lock in. We're going to really have to lock in because both of those offenses are 2 of the most explosive offenses in all of the SEC, if not college football, period. And before I start, my bad, man, I just have to go on this long rant, man, but because it's irritating, man, and I feel like this team we're regressing. We're taking like 100 steps back this season, and I'm not understanding what's going on. And I'm telling you, I really feel like it's Steve Sarkisian. It's his pride. It's his pride. Yeah, he walks, even when he talks in the press conferences, man, he just has too much pride within himself to just look at himself and be like, man, you know what? This season is my fault. But there's 136 teams in college football, in Division I FBS college football. We are 135th in penalties. The only team that is over us is Georgia State. Last year we were number Last year we were numbered, I think 95. Yeah, we were 95 the year before last year. The year before that we were numbered 98 or 97, and the year before that we were 68, and the year before that we were 57. That was 2021 when we won 5 games. So somehow this team has gotten dumber. Team has gotten dumber each year. And this year is just this is as worse as it can get.
Yeah, it's a lack of discipline, and as it's got to fall on Sark's shoulders. When you look at everything in totality, the no offensive line, the inconsistent play out of these top 5-star receivers, the throwing Arch Manning into uncomfortable situations right out of the gate from the start of the season. You got to put some of this on the shoulders of Sark. Desmond Howard, guy that's won a Heisman Trophy, works for ESPN. He said, don't be surprised if the job opens up in Texas this summer. I'm not taking it that far. I don't think there's any reason to fire Sark, mainly because the same situation Baylor's in. Who are you going to get? Ain't no coaches, if anybody noticed. There's more vacancies than there are quality head coaches this year. So that doesn't even make sense.
You don't want to be in a position other little favorite school, LSU. You don't want to be in a position of LSU, Florida, Penn State, who else fired their coach? Any of these teams, you don't want to be in that position right now going into the offseason and trying to find a head coach. And I'm not sure if some of these teams are even going to be able to find a head coach. A lot of these teams, I don't know necessarily what they're doing, because I'm not around their program, but I just been hearing a lot of noise, guys trying to get guys to come out of retirement. And a lot of these coaches are not trying to come out of retirement.
No, that's not happening, man. They're going to have to get new blood in the coaching system.
Have to get new blood into the coaching system. So you're going to have to take chances on 30-something-year-old, 40-something-year-old coaches.
Yeah, that'll be what it is. I don't see Sark getting out of there though. I don't see Sark getting fired. That don't make any sense to me.
He's brought us back to where we always needed to be. You know what I mean? And some relevance. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he's done now. Do I feel like majority of the position coaches need to be gone? Yes. Majority of them. And the reason why I say that too is because last year we lost certain guys. We lost guys like Tashard Choice. We lost our I think it was our we lost like three coaches, I think. And we just moved a lot of assistants up who were already in position. We just moved them up, but they didn't have any type of game time experience. And it's showing this season, you know what I mean? And so, some of them guys, they got to go. They have to. They got to go.
And I think they will be. Texas is not going to sit up and lose over and over like this, not with the expectation they set the last few years. So some changes will be coming in this offseason on the 40 acres for sure. I don't think it'll be the head coach, but nobody else after that is really. The head coach, Arch Manning, they're safe. Colin Simmons, safe. Everybody else, you might want to start figuring some stuff out because everybody else after that is up for grabs. Let's look at a couple of these games here on the weekend before we get off college football. Probably one of the best games, if not the best game this weekend, Oklahoma and Missouri. Missouri, number 22 in the country. Oklahoma coming off a huge win against Alabama this upcoming weekend. Missouri always got a chance in this game. I know they're playing with a backup quarterback, and they're going to be out of it. They're 7.5-point underdogs in this game. But Ahmad Hardy is so good. I've liked watching this guy all year long. I like watching him last year at ULM,
awesome.
and he was a monster then. 300. He's coming off a 303 touchdown yard game. 300 yards, 3 touchdowns in their last win against Mississippi State. So he's hot coming into this. I'll give the edge to Oklahoma for sure. They're playing at home, playing against the backup quarterback. But that should be a fun game. Who do you like in Missouri and Oklahoma?
I'm going to take Oklahoma in that game, but even with Missouri having their backup quarterback, they can run the ball, like you said, Ahmad Hardy, a dog. He's a dog.
He'd be the number one running back taken if he could come out this year. And he's 19 years old, 20 years old.
Yeah, 20 years old. So, yeah, most definitely, though, yeah, he would. So, I really, they are always going to have a chance in really any game just because of how good their running game is. But I'm going to take Oklahoma just because, I mean, they've shown a little more. We just seen them beat Alabama. But man, I like Missouri. Missouri, they're kind of similar to how, like I was saying, with like Mississippi State, Arkansas. Like they're gonna play you very tough. And the difference with Missouri is they're actually really a good team for real. and they can actually sneak out a win. You know what I mean?
If their
So
quarterback wasn't hurt, I mean,
it's
it'd be a different game.
it'd be a whole different game if they starting quarterback was. They actually will be ranked even higher. I feel like the game that they did lose their quarterback in, they probably would have won that game if he didn't get hurt.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So,
Mizzou's a nice team. But I think a little bit too much OU in this game, and they're playing at home. You already know how it gets in Norman. It's gonna be
it's
gonna
crazy.
get ugly out there for him quick when that backup QB get in the game and that helmet start rattling. Like whenever you play in NCAA, that's what it's gonna be like for him out there. But I'll take OU in that game. I think the best game this weekend is USC Oregon. That game at 2:30 on CBS. Oregon's playing at home. They're 9-1. This is for really. I still think even if they lose this game, Oregon will get into the college football playoffs. But this is to stay away from being a number 10, 11, or 12 team put in the college football playoff. If you're Oregon, getting a win against USC, Oregon's favored by 9.5 points. I don't think it's that big of a gap. Now I know Oregon's got a way better defense than USC. I'm not even debating that. But on the offensive side, Jaden Mavia puts them in every game, just like Dante Moore. I think they've got a better running game with Miller at the running back spot. And Mekhi Lemon might be the best receiver outside of Jeremiah Smith in the nation, especially if we're talking about production-wise. He's been unguardable all year long. Who you like in Oregon versus USC on Saturday?
I think this is gonna be a really, really close game. I got Oregon, but USC, man, their offense and the receivers that they got, Mekhi Lemon, those guys are explosive, and they can turn a game. They can turn a game a little ugly for you very fast if you're not careful. So I don't think Oregon are gonna go into this game sleepwalking, but I think it's gonna be a close game regardless. These two teams really face up well against each other. I really think that both rosters are very similar in a way, definitely offensively. You know what I mean? So even defensively, honestly, I don't think both these teams are just that good on defense, but I don't think they're really just that bad on defense at the same time. I would say Lincoln Riley defense is kind of a little worse than Oregon.
They ain't never had no defense with Lincoln Riley.
Yeah. But they're not really just that bad this year. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's because of the quality of opponents that they've been playing or if they really have just gotten better. But both teams really face up well against each other. But I'm going to give a nod to Oregon in this one, though.
Yeah, I think Oregon just has a little bit better firepower. Dan Lanning, if he wasn't at Oregon, would be a guy that's up for a lot of these jobs that we were just talking about. But I don't think he's going to leave Oregon. They got a pretty big bag out there as well. So that'll be a really fun game. That comes on at 2:30. Another sneaky kind of good game coming up for this weekend. Pittsburgh playing against Georgia Tech. Pitt was ranked until they got their last loss last week. Georgia Tech, undefeated for majority of the season, finally lost a couple of weeks ago. Now 9-1, and they're playing for their college football life at this point. Because if Georgia Tech gets another loss, they're out of it. No one's going to put a 2-loss Georgia Tech team into the playoffs unless they win the ACC championship and that boosts them higher in the rankings. But even then, still, it'll be tough for them to get out of there, especially if you got to pick between Miami or Georgia Tech. The playoff committee is definitely picking Miami. They're not going to pick Georgia Tech over Miami. So this is a huge game for them coming up against a Pitt team that's also been a really sneaky good team so far this season. They're 7-3 on the year. Georgia Tech 2.5-point favorites at home. I like Georgia Tech in this one barely. Haynes King has played phenomenal, played better than most quarterbacks in the nation this year. That old school Tebow kind of style of playing that Haynes King's got. Give me Georgia Tech in this one, and I'll take them on the 2.5 points. Who you like in this game with Pittsburgh and Georgia Tech?
I'm going to say Georgia Tech. I like Haynes King. Georgia Tech has a really, really good offense. I'm not sure if Pitt's defense can really just stack up against their offense. Kind of seeing what Notre Dame did to them, really just in the running game overall. And we know one thing we know about this Georgia Tech team, they can run the ball really good too. So I think they'll give them some problems with that, with the running game. But yeah, I mean, Pitt can easily make it a game. They can easily make it a game, but I'm leaning more towards Georgia Tech in this one. I think they're just a more complete team when it comes to both teams playing.
Yeah, I like Georgia Tech in this one. Haynes King running the football. They always got good running backs, but Haynes King is a grown man. Dude's like 25, 26
Yeah.
years old. I don't even know how he's still playing college football. So it's going to be hard for them to tackle this. Like, this guy he won a state championship at Longview in like 2018 or 2019 or something. So
2019.
yeah, I'm like, bro, this guy's been in college for a very long time. So it'll be tough for them to stop him. Last one in college, another kind of sneaky good game for the nightcap. BYU and Cincinnati. Cincinnati surprised everybody this year with the way they played. They dropped their last couple of games. I'm actually picking Cincinnati in an upset. BYU is number 11 in the country. They're coming in feeling themselves a little bit. The only loss being the Tech. Yeah, they played great. But we all know how I feel about BYU. I can't trust anybody with a quarterback whose number is 47. That's just too strange.
Yeah,
Brent Sorensby has played phenomenal this year. 22 touchdowns to just 4 picks playing on the Cincinnati side. I'll take Cincinnati at the points. They're playing at home. They had another huge game earlier in the season where they played at home against Iowa State when Iowa State was ranked top 15, and they smashed Iowa State. I don't think they're going to blow out BYU in this game, but I think they can pull off the upset. I'll take Cincinnati. Who you liking, BYU versus Cincinnati this weekend?
I honestly was leaning towards Cincinnati as well. And it's going to be, I think, the game is in Cincinnati, right?
Yeah, it's at Cincy.
Yeah, it says Cincy. Yeah, I was leaning more towards Cincy actually in this game. I actually think they're going to face her pretty well against this BYU team. I'm not really just too sold on BYU. Definitely after how Texas Tech did them. You know what I mean? Now, granted, Texas Tech is the best team in the Big 12. So, I mean, you can't really just measure it off of that alone. But I think Cincinnati. I mean, they like you said, they surprised everyone this year. I really like how they're playing, and I don't see no reason why they shouldn't, or if they couldn't, upset this BYU team. Definitely at home. I know the crowd is going to be crazy. Cincinnati, their home crowd is kind of underrated to me. I feel like definitely whenever they're good, they have a really good home environment, and they can get really loud in there. So I think they're going to be making some noise for BYU. And I honestly, man, even up to this point, I don't really know what BYU is good at.
Exactly. I said they just get good team wins, but they don't have a dominant trait. That's why I'm not sold on BYU, especially if they get in the playoffs. They're going to get in the playoffs and get thrashed by somebody. Go in the playoffs and have to play Oregon or something like that. You're going to get destroyed. So I don't think they're even going to get to the playoffs because I think they're going to lose another game between this game or in the Big 12 championship if they lose to Tech again. So I think that'll knock them out if they get into it. But since he's got a great chance to be able to get an upset win this coming up weekend. We got a couple minutes left here on Centex Primetime. I want to thank everybody for watching. Let's do a couple of these NFL games for this upcoming weekend. Before we do that, I want to get your thoughts on this whole Shedeur situation. He's finally moving into the starting spot. Dillon Gabriel gets hurt. They just announced him officially as the starter earlier today. He's going to make his first start against the Las Vegas Raiders, who the Cowboys just beat up on Monday Night Football. What do you think about this whole Shedeur situation and him finally getting a shot now?
I'm happy for him. I kind of seen some clips of him throwing the ball today at practice with the ones. He's looking really good. I really felt like that he looked good even on Sunday. I didn't think he looked that bad on Sunday. He just played for the Browns, you know what I mean? So it's gonna always be rough for the Browns, but I like some of the passes that he made, some of the plays he was making out there. He looked pretty good to me. And he has a chance this Sunday, honestly, against a team that's just as bad or if not worse than the Browns, honestly, to look even better. You know what I mean? He can. This is a win. This is a game he can win this game. He can actually get a first start and win this game actually against a team that's just as bad as his team is. You know what I mean? So I'm happy for him, man. Can't wait to watch the game. I'm sure everybody's going to tune in. This game probably might have the most. Yeah. I think this might have the most. Whatever you call it, people watching. You know what I mean? On Sunday. So
only thing that's gonna make it not just be overwhelming as probably the most watched game this year is because Philly and Dallas are playing at the same time. That's the only reason.
Same time,
if it wasn't for that,
they
would break every record for most watches this season as far as any of the games because everybody and their dog is gonna be tuned in to be able to watch that game. I know I'm definitely gonna be watching. But I agree with you. I think this is a great game for him to go out there and start in. You're playing against the Raiders. The Raiders are terrible. Just stay away from Max Crosby and you'll be all right. Outside of that, everything else is free game. Jamal Adams somehow aged 25 years extra on top of whatever his age is. I don't know what happened, but they got a bunch of guys like that out there in their defense. This will be a good game for Shedeur if they can come out and give him a decent game plan. I don't trust Kevin Stefanski at all. They've been trying to sabotage this dude all year. Give him a decent game plan. Run the ball with Quinshon Junkins. I don't get why that doesn't happen more. Every time they run the ball with Junkins, he goes crazy, and then sometimes he won't get any carries in the second half, like he barely got carries in the second half of his last game. I don't know what that's about.
I don't understand that. I don't understand that either.
No, because
It's like they're trying to
Stefanski can't coach. That's all it is. He can't coach, and we keep trying to. He's 2-time coach of the year, man. Come on, but nobody cares, bro. You can't coach. We've seen enough this year. I've seen enough from Stefanski this year to get it. I think he's going to be a great offensive coordinator for somebody again, but with this Browns team, it's not working at all. Bush Shador is going to break all the records as far as views this coming up weekend for sure. Let's go through a couple of these games before we run out of time here. First, the Thursday night game, my Texans playing against the Buffalo Bills. Texans have been playing better football these last couple of weeks. C.J. Stroud's still going to be out with a concussion. For that reason, even though they're my Texans and it's my team, I'm biased in the situation, and they're playing at home, I'm going to pick the Bills in this game just because we're playing. Davis Mills is still at quarterback. We don't know what exactly we're going to get. They were able to squeak out a win this past weekend against Tennessee. I don't think that's going to work against Buffalo. Who you like in Buffalo and Houston on Thursday night tomorrow?
Really, just what you said, man. Definitely with Stroud being out still, I gotta go ahead and give the win to the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, the Bills will be able to come out with a W in this one. Even though I think the Texans will keep it close. Defense, obviously, I still think we got one of the better defenses in the National Football League.
Yeah, sure.
But I mean, without having your quarterback out there, it's going to be tough to do anything and get the offense moving. So for that reason, I'll pick Buffalo. A really good slate of games this coming up weekend. A couple of them that I think are really good. First one, Indianapolis going to Kansas City. Kansas City got a chance to fall under 500 for the first time in I don't know how long, especially this late in the season. If they lose this game against Indianapolis, they're playing at home. Kansas City's favored because they're playing at home. Mahomes is still playing good this season, but the Chiefs just don't have any identity, man. I mean, it's really all the same stuff we saw last year, just without the magic. Without the magic plays happening at the end of the game, that somehow the Chiefs coming out winning. This time, they're losing all those close games instead of winning all those close games. Kansas City's favored in this one. Man, I've been back and forth on this one all week long, but I think I'm going to take Indianapolis to get an upset this week. Kansas City just doesn't have an identity. That's the only reason it's tough for me to pick them. Daniel Jones and the Colts, they got an identity. They're going to run the football. Jonathan Taylor should be the front runner for MVP this year with the way he's playing. Their defense has gotten even better. Sauce Gardner, everybody saying, he got beat on a touchdown last week. Man, this dude don't even know the plays. He just flew in and started at corner. And corner's the hardest position outside of quarterback to play in the NFL. You just threw this guy in the game, and they're going to say, he got scored on. Man, that's going to happen. Sauce Gardner's still one of the top DBs in the league. Add a guy like that to a defense that's already been playing good. Charvarius Ward will be back in a couple of weeks as well. So, man, I think Indianapolis got a recipe to go out here and get an upset on the road. Who do you like in this game, though? Kansas City favored by 3.5 points with Kansas City and Indy.
I'm going to lean more towards Indianapolis. Jonathan Taylor, like you said, I feel like he should be the MVP this year. This Indianapolis team is rolling. Probably one of the best teams in the NFL really this season. They're playing like it for sure. Yeah. So I think I ain't gonna say it's gonna be an easy dub because they are playing in Kansas City. Kansas City is still gonna make it a game, and it's still the NFL. You know what I'm saying? He's professional, so nobody just really just getting whooped. You know what I mean? But no, I'm favoring towards Indianapolis in this game. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, man, right now it's just kind of hard to go against him in the Colts, really. I mean, because it's really him that you need to stop him, and I haven't seen anybody even come close.
Yeah, he's doing the same thing Saquon was doing last year, pretty much. I mean, I think he's right on track to
he's doing better.
Yeah, he's on track to do better than what Saquon did last year. He's leading the league in yards. He's leading the league in touchdowns. I think it's like 5 touchdowns between him and the next and the second guy. He's doing phenomenal. Mm-hmm. He's doing everything for this offense, and it's opened up so much for Daniel Jones and the rest of those guys on the offense. So yeah, that's going to be a really close game this coming up weekend. Pittsburgh and Chicago. I know Aaron Rodgers is questionable. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to play the next couple of weeks, as a matter of fact. In my opinion, for that reason, I'm picking Chicago, but it's going to be a tough game. They're playing in Chicago. Caleb Williams is playing some decent football. Everybody was on this guy's case last year and at the beginning of the season. Got to give him credit for playing better these last few weeks. Chicago's at 7-3 leading that division. I definitely didn't expect that. I'll take Chicago in this game this weekend, but it'll be close. Who do you like with Chicago and Pittsburgh on Sunday at 12?
Yeah, I'm going to roll with Chicago, man. They really surprised me. Definitely just how they've been playing. The offense is really playing really better since earlier on this season. I would say they made some changes or whatever, and they really been rolling. The defense for Chicago has always been pretty good to me, and they've been playing like it. So I would say Chicago in this one. Definitely if Pittsburgh not going to have Aaron Rodgers, it's going to be a little tough for them playing against Chicago. And are they going to be in Chicago or are they going to be at home?
It's in Chicago.
It's in Chicago, yeah. That's an L.
Yeah, that's an
L.
It's Mason Rudolph coming out there and playing, man. That's an L. I'm not. I can't pick the Steelers.
Like
with Mason Rudolph playing.
Nah, like I said, Chicago, man, they rolling right now too. You know what I mean? And they kind of rolling right now, kind of under the radar though.
They are, and a lot of it is their defense. Everybody's giving Ben Johnson credit because he's an offensive coordinator. I think that defense, they got the top 3 leaders. All the top 3 leaders in interceptions all play for the Bears.
Yep. And guess who their DB coach is?
Yeah.
Our former DB.
Yeah. And didn't he take Wright with him? Wasn't Wright on the Cowboys? Am I tripping?
Yeah, he took him over there with him.
Yeah, he took him over there, and he's number 2 in the league in interceptions right now. Them the guys are playing out of their mind on defense as far as turning the ball over and what they've been able to do. Tremaine Edwards leading all linebackers in picks. Kevin Byard that they've got over there a couple of years ago, he's leading the NFL in picks with 5 picks a game. So, I mean, their defense has been playing great. I like Chicago in that game against Steelers, even though the Steelers have been playing decent football. Without Aaron Rodgers won't be enough. Game that everybody's going to be watching outside of Cleveland and the Raiders. Philly going to Dallas. Philly's a 3.5-point favorite. Now, I'll give Philly the edge in this game. I'll just come out and say that right away. But yesterday I said on the show, this Dallas team has a way, and I see a way where they can win this game. As bad as their defense is played, as bad as at times their offense is played, they've got a couple of advantages here for Dallas. One of them being their defense can stop potentially what this Philly offense wants to do, and that's run the ball. Philly's offenses look terrible. That's why I'm giving Dallas a chance in this game. Philly's offenses look terrible. Let's call it what it is. I know they find a way to win games and all of that, but this offense look nasty all year long, and it doesn't look like it's getting any better. The offensive line can't block. They can't run block. They're only giving A.J. Brown the ball on 5-yard routes. The offense has just been out of whack all year long. And with the way that this defense played last week, I know it was against the Raiders. I'm not going to put too much stock into being the Raiders, but Quentin Williams is a guy. When you stick other guys out there around Quentin Williams, he makes them better. They've got a chance. And on the offensive side of the ball, the way George Pickens is playing right now is, I mean, he's unstoppable. The dude is literally unguardable, especially if you're going to put a number 2 out there on him. It's going to be best on best. Dallas's offense is really good. Philly's defense, I said yesterday on the show, I think this year's Philly defense might be better than last year's defense that won the Super Bowl. They've got guys at every single level. Quinyon Mitchell is a true number 1 shutdown corner. Last year we were saying, oh, he's good for a rookie. He's not just good for a rookie. He's good for anybody in the NFL. Quinyon Mitchell is that guy. Cooper DeJean, Adoree Jackson. They're going to throw Jair Alexander into the mix in there as well. Makuba's played well on the backside. Jahad Campbell. They finally got their linebacker back in Nakobe Dean. Jordan Phillips might have been the best trade acquisition in the trade. So I'm still giving Philly the edge, but I think it's going to be closer than what some people think. What do you think the Cowboys going to do on Sunday, PJ?
We got one of the best offenses in the NFL, so that's going that allow us to be in any game really.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually impressed with the defense after Quentin Williams' debut on Monday. I know we played against the Raiders, but still, just the difference that he made in that defense, being able to get some pressure and being able to kind of stuff the run in the way that we did against them, I feel like that's going to make a difference even against the Eagles come Sunday. And then, like you said, their offense really hasn't really just been hidden as of late. You know what I mean? They kind of got some problems over there, man. You know, AJ Brown kind of been making some noise and everything. So it's kind of some, you know, inner stuff within the locker room or whatever that's going on with their team right now offensively. Their defense is one of the best defenses, honestly, in the NFL. So it's going to be hard to score, but we're familiar with this team. Definitely Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott still has a winning record against all the teams up in our division. And it's the reason why I don't never really just too much worry about none of the teams in our division, honestly, because, I mean, for some reason, they don't know how to beat Dak.
Yeah,
but he knows how to beat them mostly. So I think it's going to be a really good game, man. George Pickens he's unstoppable right now. I think he's number 2 right now in receiving yards in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I mean, you still got him. You got him, but then you still got CD. You know what I mean? Who is still a top 5 receiver in this league. So with Javonte Williams, just the offense. I have no worries with our offense. My only worry is with the defense. I'm just hoping that they're able to kind of show up. Overshown is back. He's looking really good. He's looking explosive. So that's another difference with this defense. We got some guys, you know, now a little bit with him and Quentin Williams, those two right there. We got some guys that can kind of make a difference with this defense and kind of, you know, just kind of make everyone around them play better. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure if we're going to get this win. The Eagles is still a really good team. They're still battle tested. They're still a team that has won a Super Bowl. But I wouldn't be surprised if we won this game. Now, this game in Philly, right?
No, it's in Dallas. It's at Dallas.
It's in Dallas.
Yeah.
It's at Dallas. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, because we played them. We played them at Philly the first game of the year. So yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah. It's a winnable game, man.
That's what I'm saying.
We just gotta stand on business, man. We gotta stand on business. Yeah, we got a chance. I'm not gonna act like we ain't got a chance. We do. I'm just not sure. I'm going to lean more towards the Eagles, but of course, you know, come Sunday, I'm gonna be rooting for my Cowboys to get the dub. But just kind of you know, picking just before, you know what I'm saying, before the game comes up. I lean towards the Eagles, but the Cowboys have a really good chance to go out there and get a dub on Sunday.
Yeah, that should be a really good game coming on Sunday. That's at 3:25. I know everybody already be watching that with the Dallas Cowboys. Hey, folks, we're out of time here today on Centex Primetime. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us. Tomorrow, we've got more MCC basketball lined up. The men will play at 6 o'clock. The women play at 7 o'clock. Make sure you guys are getting ready to tune in for that right here on Centex Sports Network. Obviously, high school football playoffs start tomorrow as well. Make sure you guys supporting your local Central Texas teams here that are still playing in the playoffs as well. Getting ready to sign off here today. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Like and share. Go back and rewatch this as we broke down a lot of those games here. High school football tomorrow. Texans play tomorrow at 7. Full schedule tomorrow for sports. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We will see you next time on Centex Primetime. Everybody have a great evening.